Hello everyone, and happy Earth Day 2021 to you. I am sitting here in my garden, and it's one that we planted a few weeks ago on Easter weekend. And that's kind of been a tradition that we have begun over the last couple years. And so I wanted to share some thoughts about our relationship to the Earth, and specifically, how we relate to the Earth. And so, if you go back a few hundred years, we humans believed that the Earth was the center of the cosmos, and the entire universe revolved around the Earth. And for Christians in particular, Christians believed that what God was primarily doing then was on the Earth, and that humans were the center of the Earth, that God was imaged in humans, and so everything's centered on us. And so then when Copernicus came along and confirmed that no, in fact, the Earth is not the center of the cosmos, then suddenly the Earth became decentered. And because humans were considered the center of the Earth, humans became decentered. And because God was imaged in humanity, then God became decentered. And so, at least in our constructs. And so Christians really began to have a very complicated relationship with science. And so over the next 500 years or so, as science continued to progress into the mechanistic world, and then into more of the quantum relational world, Christians really struggled with our relationship to the Earth. And so it showed up in a couple different ways. One was in a posture of domination over the Earth. And I'll never forget, a few years ago, well, actually, really most of my life, up until a few years ago, I was a really big Rush Limbaugh fan, believe it or not. I listened to him all the time. And whenever a conversation would come up about oil, drilling for oil, the Alaska pipe, or the pipeline, or fracking, Rush would always reference Genesis 1, and he would say that we are to have dominion over the Earth. And it was just this posture of, like, the Earth is here to serve us. We are here to dominate the Earth. If we need the oil to better our lives, then we are going to go and we're going to drill that oil, and we're going to get it for what we need to advance ourselves and our capitalistic agenda. And so there was this posture amongst a lot of Christians of dominating the Earth. We weren't here to care for it so much. Maybe we might occasionally recognize that, but really we were here, and the Earth was here to serve us. The other posture that began to happen as we were decentered, as we were becoming disconnected from the Earth, was that we began to have a desire to escape the Earth. And this came in through a lot of dispensationalist theology, and basically, the idea that, this world is not my home, I'm just a passing through, that really my home is in heaven, and that someday God is going to come back and rescue us away from this earth, and we're going to go into some place called heaven, and then God's going to burn everything's going to burn. And I've even heard John MacArthur preach sermons about how everything's going to burn, and so he dismisses environmental concerns because everything's going to burn, supposedly. And so these two postures of domination over the Earth and escaping from the Earth have really disconnected us from our relationship to the Earth. And what modern science has shown us is that we are intrinsically connected and related to the Earth. Not only are we related to the stars, as the elements within the stars burned and developed and then spread throughout the cosmos in order to be able to create life, but this entire planet is related. We are related to all of the animals. We are related to the plants. We are related to the trees, and we're all one big cosmic family. And this is what science has been showing us, is what the mystics have been talking about for many centuries, that we are, Saint Francis would talk about brother sun and sister moon, brothers, wind and air, and Mother Earth, and the mystics have seen that all of creation is relational, and that we can't simply cut ourselves off from creation and dominate over creation and try to escape from creation. We are intrinsically related, like one big cosmic family. And so, and you can see hints of this throughout Scripture in Acts 17 and Ephesians 1 and Colossians 1. It talks about the cosmos being like a family, living and moving and having our being in God, and we're all related. And so what I want to just encourage you on this Earth Day is to begin to move out of these old hierarchies of domination and escape, and to move into the relationship that we know we have with the cosmos. So I wanted to close with a reading here from this book called The Hours of the Universe by Ilia Delio, Reflections on God, Science, and the Human Journey. She has this poem. She says, "Though frightened for a moment by evolution, the Christian now perceives that what it offers him is nothing but a magnificent means of feeling more at one with God and of giving himself more to him. In a pluralistic and static nature, the universe domination of Christ could, strictly speaking, still be regarded as an extrinsic and superimposed power. In a spiritually converging world, this Christic energy acquires an urgency and intensity of another order altogether. Christ invests himself organically with the very majesty of his creation. And it is in no way metaphorical to say that man finds himself capable of experiencing and discovering his God in the whole length, breadth, and depth of the world in movement. To be able to say literally to God that one loves him not only with one's body, all one's heart, and all one's soul, but with every fiber of the unifying universe. That is a prayer that can only be made in space-time." So be here in space-time, be here on the earth, and move into the relationality that we have with all things.